right, let's jump into the first story here. The rise of lonely single men. This has been out for a couple of days, and of course, a lot of other content creators like Tim Pool and the Quartering, and a lot of quote unquote normie, like non-men's channels, are talking about it. But what I find interesting is they still look at it from a general view. They don't look at it as a single bachelor looking at something. You know, the Quartering Jeremy over at the Quartering. I use him because he's got like 1.2 million subs. And Tim Pool, he's got across multiple channels, he's got 1 million or 2 subs. They talk about this stuff, but they never look at it as a guy that is part of the group that they're talking about. You know, Jeremy's married. I think Tim has a girlfriend. And even if you have a girlfriend, you know, there's something like a third of men today are not only not dating, a third of them are virgins. And even more than that, haven't had sex in the last year. These are pretty odd, interesting, strange times. So, for those of you that are members that are not supporters but would like to support a little bit, don't forget we do have live tipping. So now you can tip and put a comment in and I can check it and all that good stuff. Okay, they say rise of lonely single men. Dating apps are a drastically changing relationship. Hello, let me try this again.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Dating apps and a drastically changing relationship landscape, which we've talked about this now for 2 years. And of course, everybody comes in to say that we're a bunch of losers and incels. But the truth is we've known this. And now, of course, mainstream being 2 years behind those of us in the know is catching up. They say dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. I got to put a pin, like, as soon as I saw that headline, I'm like, already they're off in the wrong direction. Relationship standards are not rising. The ridiculous standards of women and what they expect of men are rising. Men's relationship standards really haven't changed much. We want somebody that we find attractive and friendly and sweet and we get along with and we can trust her and she's going to stick around and not cheat on us. And because most guys, if you ask them, do you really care? Like if you're a 5'6" guy, do you care if she's 5'2" or 5'8", if she's pretty and she treats you well and, you know, sleeps with you and it won't cheat on you and is a good woman? But the vast majority of guys are like, nah, I'm cool. Blonde, brunette, redhead, I don't care as long as I find her attractive. But that's not how women are. And so again, they're saying that the standards for relationships are rising. Men's standards haven't changed. They've been the universal straight across the board. It's women that are getting ridiculous with this. Men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances for matches. And that's, of course, we know this. Men need, now here's the part, I read this and I'm like, all right, I'm doing a video on this. Listen to this, guys. Listen to this. Men need to address skill deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations. Now, you guys see the dating profiles of the day that I do here, okay? How do I meet the deficit that I'm not 6 feet tall? How do I meet the deficit that I'm not Johnny Six-Pack? How do I meet the deficit if I don't make 6 figures? How do I meet the deficit if I work really hard, but I don't want to go to some woke college to get some degree in gender basket studies, to get a degree that, and then turn right around to work as a barista in Starbucks while I'm trying to pay off my college loans? That if I'm a blue collar guy that maybe really enjoys welding or doing, I don't know, being an electrician or a civil engineer or something like that, how is that a deficit? That I'm doing what I love, but I'm maybe not making as much money as some, I don't know, college bank dude. But again, you notice they directly put it on men, as always, as they always do. It couldn't ever be that women are expecting too much from men because they've been told they should have it all. It just, am I surprised psychology today is putting this out like this? No. Younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've ever been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. That's why we have channels like mine. That's why you guys have communications and forums like here on Locals, and we talk about this stuff. Because the truth is there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Let me read the article a little bit, and then we'll talk more because I don't want to stop every 30 seconds. This is not my typical rosy view of relationships, but a reality nonetheless. Over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of that growing group of long-term single people. And while you don't actually need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. Here are the three broad trends in the relationship landscape that suggest straight men, heterosexual men, are in for a rough road ahead. Dating apps. Whether you're just starting to date or you're recently divorced and dating again, dating apps are a huge driver of new romantic connections in the United States. The only problem is that upwards of 62% of men are users of men, and many women are overwhelmed with how many options they have. Competition in online dating is fierce, and lucky in person chance encounters with dreamy partners are rarer than ever. And I'm going to come back and we'll address these after I read through this. Relationship standards. With so many options, it's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. I do a live TikTok show at I Don't Care Whoever and speak with hundreds of audience members every week. I hear reoccurring dating themes from women between the ages of 25 and 45. They prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. Again, I'm going to come back and readdress these. Skills deficits. For men, this means a relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, will likely lead to fewer dating opportunities, less patience for poor communication skills, and longer periods of being single. The problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love. Emotional connection requires all the skills that families are still not consistently teaching their young boys. While there's probably no chance of stemming the rising tide of unintentional single men, there is still good news. The algorithms are becoming increasingly more complex on dating apps and other online platforms. One benefit is that great matches are on the rise. Hinge, one dating app, found that through beta trials that 90% of users rate their first date positively, with 72% indicating wanting a second date. All right, so let's put a pause right there. Mr. Put says, thank you for the 25, sir. Greetings from Belgium. Keep doing what you are doing, Joker. I will, sir. Let's review some of this, okay? They say that 62% of users are men on dating apps. And so right off the bat, women have an advantage there. Now, if you take out the scammers, the bots, the group, and I've talked about the statistics, but the women, it starts shaving down to where in reality, it's about something like 10 or 15% of the users on dating apps are real women. So dating apps are out. But this is where everybody's going to meet women. So how does this work? Well, it means that the 10 or the 20% of real women on the dating apps have a ton of male choice. And when you have guys that would normally date and fall in love with and marry a woman that's maybe attractive, has good skills, is somebody that they're compatible with, when you're an attractive guy with a lot of options, and we beat this to death, when you with that guy, there's going to be times where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to smash. Like I don't want to get married. I don't because because of no fault divorce, she can take half my crap. If we have a kid, she can just say to the state that I did something wrong, and she can walk off with the kid and my child support. I don't want a relationship anymore. I just want to smash. And so all these really good looking guys are like, you know what? Yeah, she's a 6 in my book. I feel like, or I am a 8 or 9 or 10. I'm just going to smash and then dump her. And they do this over and over and over again. And these women, the alpha widows, they think, oh, well, I'll eventually find a guy like that. And they don't. And so what happens after the girls get cycled through over and over again by these dudes that just sleep with them and bounce? Do the women slow down and say, I need to find somebody maybe that is more mature and slow things down a little bit and have a decent relationship and get to know them? Or do they say, nope, I'm going to keep smashing until, one of these guys falls in love with me? Or they get older, they gain a little bit of weight, maybe they have a kid or two with another person, and now they blame it on all men because these guys took advantage of them. When the vast majority of all men are guys that are not even in the dating pool anymore. And of course, when you ask a woman between the age of 25 and 45, they want a man who is emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. That is the woman that wants to settle down. That's what she's looking for. But if you ask a woman who's not, who's these college girls that are just out partying it up, what do you want in a dude? 6-pack, tall, athletic, good looking, having fun. They want that guy forever. but they don't learn that if they chase that guy, they're going to get run through and they're not going to ever fall in love with and or date and or be with that man. And of course, they say the skill deficits are on men. They say that the gap, if not addressed, will lead to fewer dating opportunities for men. The problem for men is emotional connection is the lifeblood, blah, blah, blah. Do women really seem mature and responsible today? Or do we not see these TikTok challenges of girls doing ridiculous things and girls jumping on Twitch to do the bathtub things to get money? Girls jumping on OF for those of you on YouTube, because I'm going to cut this segment, put it over on YouTube. But for those of you here, on locals, the Onlys fans, those aren't women. Any man, men will sleep with them. A man will look at a woman on OF and be like, damn, she's smoking. Yeah, I'd sleep with her. Would you date her? No, I don't want some OF woman to be my girlfriend or to be my future mother of my kids. And who do they blame this on? The men, because the men are not stepping up. Just absolutely, they're just so blinded to this. They say ultimately we have an opportunity to revolutionize romantic relationships and establish new healthy norms, starting with a first date. It's likely that some of these romances will be transformative and healing and blah, 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 blah. That's not how any of this works. Men have a key role in this transformation, but only if they go all in. It's going to take that kind of commitment. Will we step up? No, we will not step up. And I advise for you not to step up. You definitely don't want to step up. And the reason why you don't want to step up is because it's a sucker's play. What they're doing, and bear with me here, I'm moving some tabs around because I want to change what I talk about next that'll kind of bleed into this a little bit. They want us to go all in, fellas, and come on, you really got to emotionally commit. And that'll change the world. So you want us to be okay with these women's backgrounds. You want us to fall in love with them, put in all our chips in, and then she says, I'm out. I fell in love with Chad down at the gym. I'm taking your kid away from you. I'm divorcing you and taking your half your stuff. No, that's not how this works. Especially for these Instagram and these OF women that are putting themselves out there. Guys do not want to marry that. And you better not go all in for that. I'll tell you, you'll be in trouble.